morning. My name is Ayl Bridges. Today is Tuesday, 27 June 2023, and you're listening to Body Talk on the No Psych Radio Network. Body Talk is a program for your mind, body, and soul. Again, good morning. I hope everyone out there enjoyed a great, fun, safe, and super fantastic weekend. First and foremost, let's continue to celebrate Black history every day throughout the year. If you heard today, we were supposed to have Miss Vel Scott. She is one of the crown jewels in Cleveland. She had to reschedule because of a personal issue, and we will have her back in July. So instead of her, I have three wonderful, young, progressive, intelligent, very intelligent queens with me this morning. It's called Intern Tuesday today. And at a break, we'll have the other intern join us by the name of Jessica when she arrives here. But let me set the show up for you real quick. To my left, we have Regina, better known as Reggie. Say good morning, Reggie.
Good morning.
Yeah, speak up, Reggie.
Good morning.
Yeah, don't be shy. All right. To my far right, we have Christine. Say good morning, Christine.
Good morning.
Good, thank you, Christine. And to my immediate right, we have Anastasia, and she is going to serve as the co-host for me this morning. And as the show progresses, she's actually going to do the interviews, some reads, and some other things that involve body talk. And just to let the audience know, the other interns at the table, they also will be serving as the co-host on any given Tuesday when Body Talk airs between 11 and 1. So if you're listening and watching on YouTube and Facebook, again, give it a thumbs up. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And as you know, every week I try to feature a different book from my personal library or something I've read. The book today that you see out front is The Art of War by Sun Tzu. If you are not just a military or former military person, but more so a business person or even a parent or a friend, I strongly suggest that you read Sun Tzu. So let's dive right into the interview, because these three young ladies have told me that they're really excited about being on the air, and they're also very nervous about being on the air. Okay? And the first thing I want to ask is, all of you are interns, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, that's good. See, you're not nervous. You say yes. So one of the things, what program are you coming through? I understand it's the YOU program.
Yes.
And what does YOU stand for?
Youth Opportunity Umlimited.
Okay, and is it just for young ladies, or is it for including young men?
It includes men too.
Okay, so how did, and let me go to Christine here, because she's going to be silent for the whole show. How do you get involved in the YOU program?
I think you have to sign up, and then I think I'm gonna sign up through Cleveland Housing Network.
Okay.
And then they give you an interview, and then they suggest the best pathway for you. And then when you go to the orientation, they tell you which pathway you're gonna go.
Okay, and just real quick, you listen to the Body Talk radio program on the No Psych Radio Network. Are you you're in college now, or still in high school?
I'm still in high school.
And what high school do you attend?
John Hay, Architecture and Design.
Architecture and Design. And what are your favorite subjects? Your two favorite subjects in school?
English and street law.
Street law, okay. What is street law?
Street law, they teach us about government and government rules and taxes and stuff like that.
And when I was in high school I just graduated about 3 years ago. When we were in high school, we called it civics. So it's street law now, okay? And you like English, so you like to write? And have you keep a journal, or are you writing a book?
Our last assignment for the school year, we did have to write books for third graders. We had to illustrate them and write them based off of historic events that happened in American history. And then they got published and sent out to schools where third graders got to read them. And that's all I know.
Okay, I'm going to go over here to Reggie. And you attend what school?
Magsafe High School.
And what are your two favorite subjects?
Math and ground transportation.
ground transportation maintenance. So when you say ground transportation maintenance, are you talking about the maintenance of vehicles, or you plan things?
No, just maintenance of vehicles.
Maintenance of vehicles. And so you like math. What type of math courses have you taken?
I took algebra 1 and geometry so far.
And do you plan to continue your math tour
Yeah.
up to what, calculus 2, calculus 3,
I don't know.
differential calculus?
They say it get harder.
Of course it gets hard. It's not going to get easier, but you're smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
To my co-host here, tell everybody what high school you attended
I attended St. Martin de Porres High School,
and where is St. Martin de Porres High School
located on St. Clair in 62nd.
in 62nd. Okay, and it's a Catholic school.
Yes.
It's a Catholic school. And did you go there from the 9th through 12th grade, or
No, I went there my sophomore year and graduated this year.
you graduated this year? And where are you going after, since you graduated, where are you going?
To John Carroll University.
John Carroll University. And John Carroll is that private Catholic school in University Heights.
Yes.
And I understand, well, you have to explain to the audience. Are you paying to go to John Carroll?
No, I got a full ride.
You got a full ride. You got a full ride based upon what? Academics, football,
academics.
basketball, academics?
Yes.
And what were your two favorite subjects in school?
It was math at first, but when I took pre-calc, I had to stop. So I didn't like it no more. So English and art.
So we have basically almost 2 English majors here, and we have a budding engineer over here. Okay. So let's go back to the John Carroll, and your name is Anastasia.
Antonasia.
Antonasia. I'll get it right eventually. All right. So what are you going to major in at John Carroll?
I'll be double majoring in business and political science and minor in communication.
Minor in communications. So what do you want to do with your communications degree? Or your minor, rather, excuse me.
Well, actually, I didn't want to take communication, but when I did my orientation for school, they was telling me like communication can help like me in the courtroom because I want to be a lawyer. But it can help me in the courtroom. It help me like talk to people. So I'm like, okay, I can minor in communication. So I took that up.
So you want to be an attorney?
Yes. I want to be an attorney, and then I want to have my own law firm.
Okay, that's a good goal. What type of law do you want to practice? Do you have any idea?
It's between corporate law or criminal law.
Corporate and criminal. There's criminals in corporate business, trust me.
Yeah.
So, no, that's good. You also said a major, a double major, if I may, in business. Why business?
Because I had decided I want my own law firm, so like I want to work for somebody, but at the same time I want people to work for me. So like I want to build my own law firm like from scratch.
Okay, so you want to be a budding entrepreneur.
Yes.
Right. So let me go back over here to Reggie. Hold on, Christine. I see you over there trying to hide. Reggie, and that's what her friends call her, so she made me a friend for the first hour. Reggie, after you graduate from Max A's, do you have any goals, any plans?
I plan to go to college.
You plan to go to college? Have you looked at any colleges?
Ohio State and Kent State.
The Ohio State. I have some
The
friends who
Ohio
attended the Ohio State University, which is in Columbus, and Kent State is not too far from Cleveland. Ohio State is approximately 2 hours away. Do you have any ideas of which you want to major in?
I do, but at the same time, they might change.
Okay, well, you can change your mind. What do you have planned right now?
I want to major in teaching and cosmetology.
Cosmetology.
Yeah.
So you want to be a teacher?
Yeah,
You want to teach elementary, middle school, or
probably middle school.
middle school? Yeah, I think you'd be a good teacher. Let me go to Christine. When you graduate from high school, any future plans?
I do want to go to trade school to get my cosmetology license so that I can do hair and nail stuff I don't want to go as a side hustle, but something to do to help me build up because I do want to be a travel nurse and I do want to get into real estate.
Okay, that's ambitious. Now, before this show is over, remind me to give a phone number to a young lady. She has her own hair salon. Her name is Dosha Wright. It's in Cleveland Heights. And I know she will enjoy talking to both of you. And she's really active in the licensing process in the state of Ohio. for hairstylists and cosmetologists, etc. Any idea on where you might want to go to school?
I did look at North Carolina University, and I only looked at that because I do run track, and one of my teachers said I should go there and get a scholarship for track and then switch my major. So that's really been the only college I've looked at, North Carolina University.
Okay, now you run track in high school. What is your event?
I do 100 meters and 200 meters in sprinter.
Oh, you're a sprinter, so you're pretty fast.
A little bit.
A little bit. How did the track team do this year?
They did good. We won our championship.
Did he send it?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. Okay. I'm going to mention it more so to the both of you and Jessica when we bring her up here. There's the Miles Union Community Development Corporation. They're sponsoring a tour this summer to go to Nashville to visit black colleges. The FISC is on the schedule, TSU, which is Tennessee State University. And sandwiched in between those two colleges, and I heard she wanted to be a nurse, is a school called Meharry Medical College. They train physicians, dentists, and they now have a physician's assistant program. And I'm not here to hype any local college. Again, she mentioned Ohio State, Kent State, and John Carroll University. There's a school not too far from here called Lake Erie College. Lake Erie College, which is a little bit north of Mentor. They also have a nursing program, an MD program, a dental program, and a physician's assistant program. If you young ladies can remember that. And you're listening to the Body Talk Radio program on the No Static Radio Network. And in about, let's say 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to turn the show over with some assistance. She's going to start her readings first, because she told me she's not really nervous, but she's going to get some reads here. Let's switch gears for a minute and talk about Cleveland. Okay, we're going to talk about Cleveland. To my co-host, what do you like about living in Cleveland?
Well, I like the rock hall. I like that. I like the football games and stuff. But that's about it. Like, there's too really hyped about Cleveland. I don't understand why people.
Trust me, I don't like it. But what do you like about Cleveland, Christine?
There's not so much I can say I like about. I do like at nighttime driving around in the city because I think the buildings look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I like the people. They're funny. They're very entertaining. But that's really it.
Okay. I'm assuming both of you are from Cleveland. Okay. Have you visited any other places? So you have a baseline to compare.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you been that you somewhat appreciate greater than Cleveland, Christine?
All the places I've been, or what I would appreciate better?
Which one do you appreciate better?
I like Galveston Island and Houston, Texas.
Okay.
They have a lot of stuff, like a lot of activities. People are really nice. They did walk really close to you. I thought that was weird.
They did what now?
They were staring really close to you. I think that's weird.
Well, that's the Southern thing. You know, the Southern culture, they get real close together and talk. Hopefully nobody's invading too close. And my friend, my co-host.
I've been to Atlanta and Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Atlanta looks just like Cleveland, but I'll say Myrtle Beach is very good.
Okay. What do you like about Myrtle Beach?
The beach.
The beach. That was it. I'll give you $1 for that answer. You're from Cleveland?
No.
Where are you from?
East St. Louis, Illinois.
East St. Louis. Okay, that's different. Tell us a little bit about East St. Louis. When did you come here?
When I was 5 years old, I don't remember
So you don't
anything.
remember anything? You still have relatives living in East St. Louis?
Mhm.
Okay. Do they talk about East St. Louis?
I don't really talk to my family like that, but when I do, they don't really say much.
Okay. Now, what do you like or enjoy about Cleveland?
I don't know.
Okay, that's all right. You know, I was born and reared here. Okay, I left here when I graduated from college and took different positions and transfers around the country. The one thing I will say about Cleveland, this is probably the most giving city. When you hear people who their homes burned down or they need funds to go to a doctor or a procedure, there's some downsides to Cleveland that I think will eventually talk about. So let's keep going here, and if I can borrow you for a minute, Reggie, if you would just put all those items in that chair, just put them on that stand behind it, and we're going to have Jessica come up here and pull the chair up. Don't forget to take your headphones off. Yeah. While she's doing that, you're listening to the Body Talk Radio program on the No Static Radio Network, and I will share with you, and I won't give her a nickname yet, but let's go back to Christine here. Christine, you're going to 12th grade now, right?
No, I'm going to 11.
11. You're going 11th grade. Now, what kind of subjects do you take in 11th grade?
I'm not sure, actually. I do know I take math. I take English. I'm going to have to take Spanish because I didn't take it my freshman or sophomore year. I'm going to have to take government, AP government, and chemistry, I think.
Okay, for the audience, what is AP? See, when I grew up, AP was a grocery store. A&P. What is AP?
I'm not really sure, but I know it's similar to honors. I think it's a higher ranked class.
It's like advanced placement.
That's what AP stands for. Thank you. You're finally fulfilling your role as a co-host. She's fine. This is, I'm going to have to share a mic, so I might have to slide over this a little. This is Jessica. She's one of my favorite interns here. I call her Miss New York because she always has on a t-shirt that says Miss New York, but she doesn't have it on today. And where, are you still in high school?
Yes.
And where do you attend school?
I attend Magnificent High School.
Magnificent?
Magnificent.
Magnificent. And where is that?
It's in Rocky River, Ohio.
Okay, and that's a Catholic school?
Yeah.
Okay. And you are in what grade?
11.
So you're going to the 11th.
10. Next year I'm going to 11.
11th grade, okay. And you're going to have to play catch up. What are your two to three favorite subjects in high school?
English and photography.
So we have almost 4 English majors at the table with that. And do you like to write, or you just read, or what do you do?
I read.
You read? And give the audience a couple of books that you read recently.
I read Harvey Me and Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. If I remember, Romeo and Juliet was written by, what's that guy's name?
William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare. Very good, you passed that test. Okay. Reggie, have you read any books recently?
No, I don't like to read.
You don't like, but you wanted, I thought you wanted to go to law school.
That was fun.
Oh, that was her? So, but if you want to be a budding engineer, you're going to have to learn how to read, enjoy reading.
Yeah.
Okay, you think about it. My friend Christine, what's the last 2 books that you read that you really enjoyed?
I've read Dear Martin and We Beat the Streets.
We Beat the Street.
That's my 2 books I read.
Okay, what's the first one again?
Dear Martin.
What's Dear Martin about?
So it's about this boy. He's in high school. He lived in a predominantly white neighborhood, and he has this one other black friend, Manny. And basically, his friend Manny, he get shot by another white man because Manny and his parents they have a lot of money. He was riding around in a G-Wagon. His music was loud, and the white man asked him to turn the music down. He shot him. But that's different, Manny. And Martin, he's just trying to go to Yale College and football. I can't really remember. But I don't really summarize it, but that's really what it's about.
Okay. And to my JCU friend, that's John Perry.
I don't like to read, but I like to write.
Like
I
to
like
write?
journaling.
Okay. Okay. I'm just going to give all of you interns some advice, especially if you want to continue your education. Try to read something every day. I'm not saying you have to finish a book. Try to read something every day, because when you read, it improves your verbal communication. It also improves your written communication. And I'm not trying to make fun of comic books. You can read Archie the comic, but try to read something that's going to stretch your intellect, and especially to all of you, and more so to go to college, you're going to read more than you ever thought. And I'm not trying to put glasses on you. You're probably going to end up wearing glasses by the time you graduate from college. Because you're going to just stay up and read. The professor's going to walk in the room. He or she is, you already have your books. They're going to hand you a syllabus. And they're going to say, well, be prepared to talk about whatever, the next 4 or 5 chapters. And you come back on Thursday. And the chapters aren't 5 pages long. Some of them are 20 pages, some of them are 40 pages, some of them even greater than that. And you have to learn how to process that in your memory. You're listening to the Body Talk Radio program on the No Static Radio Network. So, Reggie, I'm sorry, Jessica, what last 2 books have you read?
I have read none.
You read none. Okay, now. So that compliment directly to you. You have to learn how to read and enjoy reading. The other thing that most of you do, all of you have those things called smartphones.
Yes.
Okay. Go and read different newspapers at least. You know, there's a newspaper site here called Cleveland.com. You can read that, which is quote unquote plain deal. Read the Washington Post, read the New York Times, New York Post, and other newspapers. There's also other free sites that you can go to read newspapers. Be abreast of what's going on, not only where you live, but where you think you might want to live. So let me go back to my co-host here. I'm going to turn the show over to about 10 minutes here. How did you pick John Carroll, or did John Carroll pick you?
So at first, when I got my financial aid from John Carroll, it was saying like I owe like $10,000 each year. So then I talked to my president at my school, and he helped me like get a full ride. So he's the one that actually got me the full ride. So I was about to go to North Carolina Central, but then I switched to John Carroll because I got a full ride. Why spend money when you got a full ride? So I'll pick John Carroll.
Well, John Carroll so picked you. Don't sell yourself short. And congratulate them. You know, you should applaud the president of your school that helped you. And that's good that he or she did. And so what's important, taking nothing away from him, don't sell yourself short. You got a full ride based upon your grades and your effort. Okay? You really did. And I can tell, and this is actually the first time I've had a chance to meet Christine, if you could really sit here and look at this young lady, she just wants to, and which is fine. She has a beautiful smile, all of you do. And she just exudes that confidence, like all 4 of you do. Okay? Jessica, Miss New York, she's and I'm doing this from 30,000 feet. She has this quiet intelligence. Oh, you really do. When I first met her, last week or a couple of weeks ago, she just sat there and she said, oh, yes, not at the table, just doing some certain things in and around the studio here. And to you, my friend, let's go back to you. How is it at Max Hayes?
It's okay. It's like, yeah, it's okay.
It's okay? So, how did you get interested in, for lack of better terms, fixing things?
So growing up, my sister, dad, he was always working on mom's part, and I just just paid attention to what he did and went to nice place to take the class to fix cars.
There's a program on this network called CUDA, and they are speed demons. They drag race. You should range through Marie to see if you can actually go to Thompson Speedway and do the pits. I'm not trying to make you out to be a super mechanic or mechanic. It's a great opportunity. See, one thing that, especially for all of you here, the interns, always be willing to talk to people, because that's how you gain not only knowledge, but you also gain opportunities. Always be willing to talk to people, but also the most important item when you talk to people, always be willing to listen. Always be willing to accept constructive criticism. And before I forget, have a belated birthday to give to Marie. Her birthday was Saturday, and I'm not going to tell you she turned 50 because she might get mad.
Oh my God.
So happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
The other, and you're listening to the Body Talk Radio program on the No Static Radio Network, and if you have any questions or comments for the interns, you can call area code 216-939-5087, or you can email them directly to bodytalkradioprogram@gmail.com. So let me go back over here to Christine really quick here. Christine, you want to do certain things you mentioned. Do you have any, I'm just going to call him a mentor right now, somebody who practices what you want to be?
Not really. My mom, she don't do any of that, but she do know a lot about it, so she can help me and guide me. She gives a lot of great advice. I do have a sister who's trying to get into real estate, I believe, but she don't really talk about her business like that. So,
Well, after the program, I'll give all of you a couple numbers, especially to the individuals who are interested in the cosmetology piece to this right. And I do know a young man, I don't want to say he hustles real estate. See, one of the things, especially everybody at this table this morning on the program, since we are all culturally minorities, and I'm the true minority, I'm only male in the room. Okay. Real estate is one of the ways that when you make that investment, and I don't know if you want to be a developer or if you just want to be a real estate agent, it's your choice. That's one way that all of us can climb up and out of the economic situation. And there's a biblical phrase, I'm going to paraphrase it. He who owns the land has the wealth. So real estate's a good option for it. Then you have an attorney over here who can broker or write the arrangement of the contract. I don't like the term deal by any means because she wants to do business law. And again, knowing her, she'll probably end up doing M&A work, that's mergers and acquisitions. Okay? And back to you, my friend. Jessica, what do you want to do after you graduate from next week?
I want to go to college.
And have you been looking at colleges? Do you have any goals?
My goal is to go to the Ohio State University.
The Ohio State University. And we have another Buckeye desire next to you. What do you want to major in?
Either nursing or business.
Nursing or business. Okay. Now, nursing is to your left. I'm not saying it's a different thing. Nursing is over here and business is over here. Which one is your true goal? Your real big desire? You can go both business school and nursing school, but what do you really want to do?
Nursing.
Nursing. And you want to, what? Nurse anesthetists? You just want to work in a hospital? Or what do you want? What's your goal?
I just want to work at a hospital.
Hospital? Okay. Okay. So you're going to become a BSN. Okay. Ohio State. They have a good nursing program. I'll give the Ohio State credit. There's this host on this program. You might want to talk to him. His name is Mr. Jeffrey Doggett. He comes on Saturday from 3 to 5. There's a program called The Right Side. He's a graduate of Ohio State. So he can sort of tell you some things about Ohio State. I'm not going to always tease him. And I tell him it's the big community college in Columbus. Because, well, that's just a joke between Jeff and me. I'm a Michigan guy. All right, but that's okay. So, Christine, one more year left in school, right?
well, this one and then my senior year.
Okay, so you have 2 years left in school. And I'm going to say this to all four of you. Not only do you have a good opportunity as interns here, take advantage of what you learn here, the individuals, the people you meet here. Internships are good for the items I just mentioned. And it also can develop an idea in your head saying, you know what, this is really not the same here. this is really what I want to do, or this isn't what I really want to do. All right. Internships weren't popular when I was in school. I landed one, actually two, and that's how my career took off. I'm not a journalist by any means, okay, or a media person. And while you're in college, and I'm going to give you all four of you a suggestion. Every year, or every semester, you're on semesters now, even when you're in high school, take and add people to your phone, and if they give you a business card, write on that business card the day you met them and what they do, and keep in touch with them. Because when you graduate, the goal is when you get handed that diploma, even in high school or college, you want to have an opportunity. That's the fancy long word for job when you graduate, okay? You want to have an opportunity. You only get that by meeting and talking to people. And that not only means the people in and around off campus, talk to your fellow students. Because you might be in school with Wayne Chenault's son or Bill Gates' daughter. And I mean that seriously. Okay? You're listening to the Body Talk Radio program on No Stack Radio Network. Um, the one thing, and like I said, I'm going to turn the show over to the co-host here in a couple of minutes. Since all of you have goals to go to college, and college is expensive. You heard our friend over here saying, well, she would have ended up paying $10,000 a year if she got a free ride to John Carroll University to get into school for the club. How do you are you saving money now to go to college, Christine?
Um,
Oh, that's all right.
no, not really. My mom is helping me,
Mm-hmm.
but I do want to try to use my track as a way to even try to get close to getting through or get a full ride. Because I feel like by the time I graduate, I should be good. Because I do keep myself. I'm always doing sport. I do a lot of dancing, running.
Running? Okay. Jessica?
Yes. I'm saving my money for college, and my mom is helping me out too.
Okay. My friend over here?
Yes, I say my mom also helps, and sometimes my grandma.
It's not too late for anybody except maybe my buddy over here. To the audience, there's this thing called the 529 plan, where you can start saving money to go to college, and there's some, there's some type of match. And again, I'll give you a phone number of somebody who can help set you up in the 529 plan. And see, one of the things, again, I repeat it, see, one of the things that we owe each other information. We owe each other that. Don't ever keep something a secret that could benefit somebody behind you. It could benefit your cousin, your brother, your sister, or even a stranger you might meet. Because people are going to look at the four of you, and you're models. Just not in the physical sense. You're models. Other kids in your neighborhood are going to look at you and say, I remember her when she couldn't run down the street, and now she got a track scholarship to whatever school. Or I remember her at Magnificent High School, and she said she didn't like to read. Now she's writing books, where she works. She got a position at the college newspaper. And kids want to, and I call them kids because they're going to be younger than all four of you. They're going to walk up to you and say, how can I do what you're doing? And you have to be willing to give them your time to explain how to do that. And, all four of us are going to keep in touch. I'm serious. We going to keep in touch because I'm going to get your phone numbers and addresses, and you can text me or whatever. I'm going to find out how you're doing. And when you get ready to graduate 2 years, you'll probably graduate early on, right? I'm going to come to, if I can, I'm going to come to your graduation. I'm gonna ask you, what are you doing? Because I'm gonna remember what all four of you said. And again, you can change your mind, you can change your plan. At least you have, all four of you have some goal or some direction. And that direction can change. But don't let anybody deter you or ever tell you that you can't do something. Because all of you are just, you're brilliant. You know, you hear these terrible stories, and I'm not trying to be insulting to anybody here. All these kids in Cleveland don't want to do anything. They just want, you know, steal kids or whatever. Never stole a kid, right? Okay. I just want to be showing some of the truth from nobody on the Body Talk Radio program against that radio network. Keep striving to be somebody, to be something. And that's critical. And if you take this, you can borrow it. I don't need the credit for it. Don't try to be an important person. Strive to do important things. And all of you can do that, okay? You're listening to the Body Talk Radio program on the most static radio network. And if my co-host would tell the audience what the phone number is.
To join the Body Talk discussion, please call 216-939-5087, or you can email your questions or comments to bodytalkradioprogram@gmail.com.
I have to take a pause real quick. You're good. This is where, I'm not saying you want to be a DJ. You're good. I mean, you didn't stammer, stutter, or whatever like I do. She has a couple questions for all of you. You have the questions. It's your show now. I'm just here to turn the mic off.
Okay, so one of the questions are, what are you looking forward to in the upcoming academic school year?
You have to tell me.
Oh, Christine.
I'm looking for a better track season. I'm looking to keep my grades up, like really up, because I feel like junior year is a very important year from what I've heard. I'm looking to pass my ACT and SAT and just stay on track. Stay focused.
And excuse the interruption. You mentioned ACT, and what is the ACT and SAT?
I don't really know. It's just a test I think we have to take in our junior year.
It's a big test you gotta take. Like, it helps you. Some people get in college, but some colleges don't really, like, now colleges saying like they don't really need it no more, but they used to say they need it so they can place you when you want to be placed. But you gotta take it, but it's up to you if you want to retake it if you score low.
Okay, the SAT stands for Scholastic Aptitude Test, and ACT is the Achievement College Test. They're called the College Boards. Okay, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's just a big test, and I can't say junior year is the hardest year of all. Doing school, doing high school, it's the hardest year.
Why is it the hardest?
Because junior year is like everything is just thrown at you. You get so much work, everything. That's just the hardest year to me, and everybody else said too. Just stay focused.
And you're listening to the Body Talk Radio program on the Most Static Radio Network. And again, excuse my interruption, host. I'm your co-host now. The three of you, I hope all four of you keep in touch. And I'm sure taking liberty again. All four of you probably know somebody who's already in college. You know somebody in college? You know anybody in college? Anybody?
Not in college right now. Oh, actually, I do. Some of my friends that graduated last year.
Okay, and do you know where they're going?
Some went to Ohio State. I've heard some people transfer because they said they just feel like they feel excluded, like they don't belong there, but I'm not trying to discourage anybody. That's just what I've heard. I know this one girl, she goes to Kent State. That's most of what I know.
I do know somebody in college.
You do?
Yeah, my cousin go to Bowling Green.
Bowling Green, okay, that's a mag school. See, one of the, we're going to isolate. This is our own little world right now for just the next maybe 45 minutes. You have a resource sitting here. She's going to, what's the name of this school? John Carroll University. Don't leave off the university, just let's be mad at you. She's going to John Carroll University. If you keep in touch with her, she can tell you maybe what the freshman year, the first year, is like at John Carroll. Each college can be different, all right? She might even invite you to come to one of the weekend parties. Who knows? So keep in touch with her. Remember earlier we said use people in a good way as a resource. And she might know and say, well, hey, Christine, Jessica, and Reggie, they're giving away free money at JCU. This all you have to do is do whatever, whatever. Keep in touch with them. Be sure you have her phone number. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and if y'all want to answer the question I asked Christine.
I forgot the question.
The question was, what are you looking for to the upcoming school year?
To keep my grades up, because last year started slipping in the first 2 quarters, but I got it back together. I also want to get better at doing the trade I'm doing in school. I don't know. I just want to see how my stuff this year because I was slipping.
Okay. Still your show?
Oh, Jessica.
Better grades, and I'm gonna join track this year, so I'm excited about that.
You want to run track? And have you run track before?
No.
No. There's somebody at this table who runs track. Christine.
Yes.
So could you share with the audience, and more so your buddy over here, what the training regimen is like?
It's actually not that bad. Well, it wasn't bad for me because I do keep myself active. So just going to, okay. My coach, he makes us run a lot. Like, he would make us run 3 laps, take 1 minute break, then run 2 laps, 1 minute break, 1 lap, and then 2, 3. Then we're done with that part. But I feel like you do need to be prepared. Don't come to practice thinking you're just gonna sit around. Just do a couple push-ups and then go home. We're gonna make. Well, my coach makes us work. It's fun though. At the track meets, it's fun. You get to meet the other teams. It's not really you know how basketball games like it seem like the teams they be fighting. It's actually fun at track meets. You get to talk to people. I like it.
Okay. See, and again, I'll share this information with you. I know he's a lifelong friend. I actually went to school with his daughter. And one of his daughters has a young lady, her daughter, won a full track scholarship to the University of Texas. And she went to a bunch of trials, and she ran overseas and did very well. First name is Marie. And if you want to talk to her again, I'll give you the phone number. But the contact information. See, one of the things, again, this is where all of you have an advantage. Okay? And be sure you talk to her once you're off the air. And maybe you two can meet at some park somewhere, and she'll run you into the ground. Okay, whatever. Okay, back to you, host.
Okay, so I know the host asked y'all this question already, but I wanted to add on. What motivates y'all like to stay in school, or like motivates y'all to like where y'all want to go to college? Some people, college is not for everybody, but I understand like people change their mind the following school years. But what actually motivates y'all during school? Kristen.
What motivates me is the lifestyle I know I want for myself. I know I want to live in a penthouse. I'm not gonna say I want super flashy stuff, but I do want nice stuff. I want a nice car. I want to be able to help out others and still live comfortably and still travel. So I think the lifestyle I want for myself is what motivates me.
What about Jessica?
Yeah, what she said. I want a nice lifestyle, and my sister motivates me because she went to Ohio State and she's alumni there, and she's like a very hard worker. I just want to be like just like her.
What about you, Reggie?
What motivates me? Well, I wouldn't say. Well, yeah. What motivates me is. Well, I want to go to college and finish high school because my sister did it, my brother did it, my mom did it, my grandma did it, and my dad did it. So I want to be the first to graduate high school and college.
So you'll be the first generation in your family to attend and graduate college.
Yeah.
There's programs in college called Upward Bound. And be sure wherever you apply, you ask about all of you ask about the Upward Bound program. Again, as a personal aside, I have a friend that we grew up together, and she's the Upward Bound coordinator at the University of Kentucky. And she has, and I'm not saying this because I know her, she has one of the most successful Upward Bound programs seems to be a bent here towards the Ohio State and Kent State and Bowling Green or whatever, but that's fine. Okay. Just, and I'm not, those are all excellent schools. Just be sure you look at or consider different schools. Back to you. Okay?
To join the body talk discussion, please call 216-939-5087, or you can email your questions or comments to bodytalkradioprogram@gmail.com.
Okay, keep going.
I received emails regarding the comments regarding the assault and the domestic violence being committed towards women. The emails appreciated the concerns that were spoken on the Body Talk program. Personally, I stated this is a men term for me, other men/women, and no static radio.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about any violent things. Okay, not yet. We're not going to do that because all of you are going to experience that. She'll tell you what's good. See, one of the things that, remember, I graduated from high school about 3 years ago, so I have no idea what you guys go through in high school. You're supposed to laugh listening. What is high school like today? Reggie, what is high school like today?
I don't know. Like,
You're there, right?
yeah, high school, it's horrible. I feel like it's horrible because of the kids, and the kids make the high school experience horrible because of how they act and what they do, and well, at least at my school. I don't know about other schools, but yeah.
Well, without mentioning somebody's name, what do you mean by horrible? What do they do that makes it horrible? They steal your fish sandwich on Friday or something?
No, they just do dumb things. They smoke in the bathrooms. They light fireworks in the hallways. It's just horrible.
Okay. Jessica?
I don't really know, but I mean drama because I go to like all girls school. There's a lot of drama, and that's like pretty much it.
Okay. How many students at your school?
I'm gonna guess 800.
There's 800?
I'm gonna guess.
Okay, so there's 200 basically. It goes from 9th to 12th grade?
Yeah.
So there's 200 students on average in each class from 9, 10, 11, 12. And how many students?
It's about like 500 of us.
500? Is it co-ed?
No,
All boys, all girls?
it's boys.
Boys and girls? Okay. Christine?
I think high school now, well, for my school, I think it's really cool. Like, my floor, architecture, design, we're like a big family. Not everybody gets along, but we don't run around like making it a problem. But I do think high school overall is kind of chaotic. Like, there's just be a lot going on. Everybody, we've got different priorities, different things they're worried about, and it just, some people not really focused on school, some people focused on school, some people fighting. It's just, but I stay on my focus, so you never know.
You stay in your, that's different. I heard stay in your lane now, stay in your bubble.
Yeah,
Okay.
just in myself and my 5 friends.
Now what is, and excuse me for asking this question, what is architectural design?
So John Hay is one big building, but there's 3 schools inside of the building. Architecture design is just, we have architecture design on the 1st floor. 2nd floor is early college, and 3rd floor is science and medicine. I chose architecture design because I'm interested in architecture,
Okay.
and that's really it.
Do you know of any black architects in and around Cleveland?
No, not really.
Yeah, we have a caller, but we're going to hold off on the call for right now. Hold on, caller. Caller, would you please state your name and the city you're calling from, where you're standing in, please?
Yes, this is Maryland Heights from University Heights. Good morning to your very young and distinguished guest panel this morning. I have a question to ask the young people that are attending various schools. With the numerous amount of mass shootings in schools these days, sadly, I should say, my question is twofold. One, is that something that concerns you on a daily or you don't really think about it? And two, what if any measures has your school taken to prevent and protect you guys from something like that?
Thank you, Roland, and to the host, you select the order you want the people to answer.
Well, I heard her what she asked, but only heard like part of the question, and I wanted to answer first. So basically, I go to a Catholic school, so we don't really have like shooting and stuff at my school. But my school, like, it's like they protect us and they help us like realize that like they got us, but at the same time, it's not like we can't say, oh, we don't want to think about that or this or that, but we have to think about it because this world is so crazy nowadays. Like you walk down the street and we don't know what can happen. So they help us be ready for like a situation.
You're the host, you pick who you
But
want to answer that.
Christine,
I'm not really worried about it, but at my school, I do feel like it's possible. But I don't. I feel like in my school, we just feel like a big family. But there is a possibility that it can happen because I go to John Hay, and down the street from John Hay is Case Western Reserve College, and then a couple streets down from that, it's called University Circle. They have a lot of restaurants, and sometimes students will leave. Well, my friends, senior friends, will leave school, and they will go to University Circle, and get like Chipotle, and they'll come back and ask me to open the door for them. And I'll be able to open the door for them, but then I realize somebody can do that for anybody else. So that could happen, but I'm not really worried about it because I doubt it would happen.
Okay.
and what about Jessica?
I'm not really worried about it because there's like cops inside of our school that would protect our school if like anything happens, and I would just feel safe at my school.
I don't think that would happen at my school because the security in my school, they don't say that and they don't let nothing get past them. So I feel like that's not a problem for us.
I just have a quick question. Roland, are you still on the line?
Yes, sir.
Roland, what college did you attend and graduate from, please?
I attended High State University. I graduated from there as well.
Oh, okay. So this must be an alumni meeting for the Ohio State. And just real quick before I let you go and we go back to the host, what was it like attending Ohio State? Were you there in the 30s, 50s, or 70s?
I'm not bad at it. I wasn't there in the 30s. I put it like this. I was there prior to after the 60s and prior to the 80s and 90s. I just put it that way. So what it was like for me was, it was a cultural awakening because I attended Cleveland Public Schools, grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, went to predominantly black schools. This was before the federal court decree that before Bethany came in. I graduated from high school a couple of years before Bethany came in. So that was my experience. And then to go to a campus where there were 53,000 students, of which only 3,500 of them were black, was a awakening for me at times to be the only black person in the class. So that was a cultural awakening for me. But all of that, my experience there was very good. And maybe right now, for those who say, well, that university is too big, it's a shadow, you have that, not necessarily so because they break down the classes and they go to your lecture two or three times a week, but then they break the classes down into what they call a recitation section, so you can get more hands-on assistance, and that would be 3 times a week. And then we do about 12 or 15 people in that class. So, and it starts getting around, you learn a little teaching. You pretty much easily get around. So that was my experience. And I found it somewhat refreshing and encouraging to hear the remarks of your panel regarding how they feel safe in the schools or what have you. And it is kind of sad to hear that, you have to have police inside of school buildings, but it is graduating, it is encouraging to me to hear that they don't go to school in fear and that this has not affected their learning and their ability to learn with this sad situation hanging over all of our heads here. So it is good to do that.
Before we let you go and I turn the show back over to the host, because I'm the co-host today, did you pledge a fraternity while you were at the Ohio State?
Yes, I am. I'm a member of Fabulous Sigma Fraternity Branch, and I'm a contractor at Ohio State University. And I went over on the 30th of May in 19 million business. But, yeah.
Well, thank you for your call, Roland, and the kind comments, and we'll let you go. Thank you. And back to the call.
Thank you.
Back to the host, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Body Talk Radio program on the No Static Radio Network, and if you want to call and speak to one of the guests and or the host of the show, what number do you dial, my friend?
Call 216-939-5087. Or you can email your questions or comments to bodytalkradioprogram@gmail.com.
And if you're listening on or following on the Facebook Live and YouTube, please hit the thumbs up. We're going to take a 360-second break, and for the mathematician, that's 5 minutes, and we'll be right back. Hey, just be back in about 5 minutes, 5, 6 minutes.
Oh, moving angry, afraid, or even use drugs or drinking as a way to escape. But we're here to tell you that violence doesn't have to keep hurting, and you can change your life starting now with help from the Trauma Recovery Center. We want you to take control of your life. Today can be the day. The Trauma Recovery Center offers real help for real needs in real time. They offer services for food, clothes, safety, emotional support, and a whole lot more. So do not let violence control you. You can break free and TRC can help. Give them a call if you're listening. If you're watching, the numbers on the screen, 216-644-5487. They will come to you wherever you are. Call today. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The most important part is they can give you the tools to rebuild your life and your health again. They can give you the tools to rebuild your life and your health. Don't let violence control you. You can break free and TRC can help. Call the Trauma Recovery Center at 216-644-5487. So look, if you want out and don't know where to start, call the Trauma Recovery Center. The Trauma Recovery Center will help you take back your life after violence starting today. Call today. Get the help you need today. I guarantee you, if you call today, they'll respond within minutes. Call today. 216-644-5487. The Trauma Recovery Center of Northeast Ohio, also affiliated with the Center for Families and Children. Okay, let's see. You guys know what it is. We do this every single month. And you know what? For future reference, I think I ought to throw up a graphic for this, put a visual to it. But today is another day for our History 365 here at No Static Radio. And so today, I'm going to throw you guys off a little bit. And I want to introduce some and reintroduce the others. Flossie Wang Stahl. She's a doctor, Dr. Flossie Wang Stahl. And listen here. This woman's done quite a few things, but she is known as a Chinese and Pacific Island American. So, when it comes to Pacific Islanders, it's a mixture of Asian and us. And so that's what she identifies as. And she's a virologist and a molecular, biologist. So when acquired, the immune deficiency syndrome, the acquired immune deficiency syndrome, you guys, you know what that is, that's AIDS, became a global epidemic in the early 1980s. Scientists did not know how it was transmitted. It wasn't until Flossie Wang Stahl, PhD, first cloned the human immune deficiency virus HIV in 1985, the researchers were able to identify HIV as the cause of AIDS. Her work allowed others to determine the function of HIV's genes and understand how it invades the immune system's natural defense for response. Dr. Wang Stahl had been studying retroviruses as a part of her work at the National Institutes of Health, and her discovery led to the organization to later develop antibody tests. Her contributions in the field of HIV and AIDS also helped determine that using a drug cocktail and several drugs at the same time is a key to managing HIV. Dr. Wang Stahl was the most cited female scientist in the 1980s with almost 7,800 citations. For what though? Anyway, her research in HIV and AIDS was highly significant in the field of virology and immunology, which helped lay the groundwork for understanding infections and infectious diseases such as COVID-19 today. So listen here, I could go on because she's got this USB technology and just so much other stuff about her, including the people that she partnered with. And one of the people includes her father, and a local here that was creator of the water gun. So listen here, I tell you guys all the time, if you can't make it to a library, for whatever reason, Google, you guys, Google is your best friend. Knowing your history is knowing you now. I'm Decisive for Body Talk, and now back to Ayl Bridges.
Thank you, Marie, for that read. And as usual, I'm going to turn the show back over to the guest host.
Welcome back to the Body Talk Radio program on No Static Radio Network. Let me make something very clear. It matters not if you work at Amazon, sell Avon, or you're a stay-at-home mom. It matters not if you are an attorney, magistrate, judge, doctor, nurse, STNA, or whatever your profession. If you need assistance, if you need an escape plan from an abusive environment, call the police, call the trauma center, call the YWCA. If you are a true friend or of someone that is being abused, be a better friend. Do not return that person into that situation. Paraphrasing a book title of Bishop T.D. Jakes, Lose and Free That Woman. Al has a Black History note.
Do this real quick so we can give the show back to our guest and host. The Black History note that I have is a gentleman and I don't want to call him a friend, but I had opportunity to meet with him and sit down with him several times. His name is Mr. Ken Chenault. He's the former CEO, chairman of the American Express Corporation. He was actually the third African American ever to lead a Fortune 500 company. And just a quick side note about Ken, when he was recruited out of college, he actually did a small internship with American Express, and that internship turned into a full-time job opportunity for him. And they said, well, they gave him a list of opportunities. And he turned all the opportunities down. He said, I want to lead the green card gift section. And they said, well, Ken, you don't understand. That's probably one of the worst divisions in American Express. It doesn't make any money. We're thinking about closing it. It's going to fail. And Ken said, that's the position I want. Ken took it over, and for 3 consecutive years, the green card gift division made money under Ken Chenault. He actually straightened it out. And he took other opportunities within American Express, and the rest is history. He rose up to become the chairman of American Express and the president. And Ken, if he walked in this room right now, he's very unassuming. He's very handsome, but he is just one of the nicest men you could ever want to meet. And when I was introduced, when I met Ken, I actually did that. I reached out to him because American Express had a foundation, and he agreed to donate money to Meharry Medical College on an unrestricted basis. So back to the host.
To join the Body Talk discussion, please call 216-939-5087. Or you can email your questions or comments to bodytalkradioprogram@gmail.com. So I have a few questions for our guests, and we're going to start off with Jessica. Who are your role models?
Like role models in general?
Yes.
My role model would be my mom and my sister, because my sister, my mom and my dad didn't know any English, and my sister translate everything for them and do everything for them when they don't know English. And my mom, because she worked so hard for her family and provide everything for us.
Okay. Let's go to Reginae.
I don't have any role models.
Nobody that you admire?
Nope.
Nobody you want to be like?
Nope.
You don't want to be like me?
No offense.
No.
That's what I tell everybody. Please don't be like me. No, that's okay. You're just, I don't want to say you're limited on your own, but I think eventually as you mature, get a little bit older, you'll be gravitated towards somebody and you might not know them, but from afar you say, I want to be like her, I want to be like him, and borrow certain things from certain people to make yourself. You don't want to mimic and totally copy anybody. And people who are listening to the Body Talk Radio program who know me, one of the first things I tell them, please don't be like me. Please don't. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, let's go to Christine.
I don't think I really have any, but if I did, I would say J. Cole.
Why?
I really don't know. I just like J. Cole, and I'm not gonna say I look up to him, but I think he's really smart, and yeah, I just think he's really smart.
Have you ever met him?
No, unfortunately.
Excuse me, who's J. Cole? I heard of Cole Shoes, but who's J. Cole?
He's a rapper.
Okay, what has he made, if you know any?
A lot.
A lot?
Like, want me to name some songs he made?
Sure.
It's called Kevin's Heart. He made a song called Love Yours, Middle Child. That's like a really popular one. And he made a lot. I listen to a lot. Oh, and My Life with, do you know who 21 Savage is?
21 Savage? I heard it 24/7.
He's another rapper, but he makes a lot of music and he's really popular.
So you enjoy music,
Yes.
and who else are your favorite artists?
I like Brent Fayez. I like Party Next Door. I like Nicki Minaj. I like SZA, Summer Walker, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu.
Okay, I'm familiar with Erykah Badu. Sizzler used to be a steakhouse when we were growing up.
Sizzler.
Yeah.
I said SZA.
I'm teasing. I'm gonna go back to you. She mentioned music. Who are your favorite music artists?
Party Next Door, Lil Durk, and that's probably it.
Little Jerk. Now, see, there was a song called Cool Jerk when we were growing up. What did Little Jerk make?
Lil Durk.
Dirk? I'm sorry, Little Jerk.
He made a lot of things. He recently just made a song with J. Cole, called All My Life. Yeah, All My Life. He made, dang, I can't remember. Hold on.
That's all right. And Jessica, do you have any?
I have a lot, but my favorite one would be a band called Chase Atlantic. They're like Australian.
Okay, that's fine. And the host slid a question to me. You mentioned your sister. She used to translate for your parents. Where are your parents from?
They're from China.
They're from China? What province in China?
I think it's called Guangdong.
Guangdong? Okay. Have they returned, ever had a chance to return to China?
They went back when I was in 3rd grade,
Mm-hmm.
and I experienced it. It was hot.
It was hot? It was
Did you
hot.
want to stay?
No, I didn't want to stay.
Have you, in China, when you visited, did you see the Great Wall?
No,
You didn't see the Tiananmen Square, maybe?
no. We just visited my mom's friends and her family.
Okay. Now, what is China like? Were there pandas walking around, or what? What's China like?
Well, it's like very hot, and they have like a lot of night markets, and it's like really like crowded sometimes at night, but they have like some like shops and like out in the open for some reason, and they have a lot of jewelry shops, like a lot of gold.
A lot of gold. Now, what is the food like there? What is the food like in China?
I didn't really like the food that much, but I really like those barbecue skewers that they have, and it's really good.
Okay, what's on the skewers?
It's probably beef and chicken.
Okay. Okay. And what else? If we were to come, I think you're going to invite all 4 of us to your house for dinner tonight. You just didn't know that. Actually, 5. Marie's coming too. What does your family eat? I don't say every day, but do you have a traditional Chinese dish that your mom makes, or?
No, not really. She makes something different every single day, but the main thing is probably seafood.
Okay. So you eat a lot of seafood. All right, thank you.
Okay, so going back to the question I asked, who are your role models? I wanted to answer the question. My granddad is my role model. I say because he went to the military. He's a combat veteran. So when he got out of the military, he went to college, which is Cleveland State University, and he just graduated with 2 of his masters. So he like inspired me to move on. Like, no matter what you're going through, like he really helped me do that. So
just real quick, he was a combat veteran in what particular war did he serve?
I don't know the exact wars, but I know he was a combat veteran because it's on his license plate.
Oh, okay. All right. And your grandfather is about what age?
He will be, well, he just turned 52.
52, so he might have been either in the Vietnam War, probably more so the Gulf War. The Gulf War. Congratulations. And when you see him, thank him for his service for me and for everybody else. Back to your show.
Okay, then I have one more question. What drives you to succeed? Regine.
I don't know.
We'll come back to you, Reggie. You're going to give us an answer before we leave here at 10 o'clock tonight.
Let's go to Christine.
I would say the same thing that motivates me, the lifestyle I want for myself.
And Jessica?
I would say the same thing on my lifestyle and my sister and my mom.
All three of you mentioned lifestyle. Okay, you mentioned you want to live in a penthouse, you want this car, and whatever else. What's important? Is that really important?
To me, it is.
Okay, and if that's your answer, that's fine. And so you're gonna make all this money, and I'm gonna give you my bank account number so you can make the right deposits. But what are you gonna do with all of that stuff? I'm just using that term "stuff" for a reason here.
I don't really want a lot of stuff. I really want just one really nice car. I want an Audi, and I want to live in a penthouse because I don't want to live in a big house.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a lot of clothes. We like to dress up or get cute and take pictures.
Okay. Do you have any siblings? Are you the oldest?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest? Okay. You have 2 brothers, 2 sisters?
I have in total 8 siblings.
8. Wow. Congratulations.
They're all
Okay.
girls except for my brother.
All girls?
He's 1 year older than me.
Okay. Reggie, you have any siblings?
Yeah, I got 4.
4? 2 brothers?
No,
3
I
brothers?
got 3 sisters and 1 brother. I'm the middle child.
You're the middle. Okay, so you're the sandwich person.
Yeah.
I have one older sister.
Okay. And how much older is she to you?
I would say 10.
10 years? Okay. 10 years. See, what's interesting, you have any siblings?
Yes, I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
And you are the
Second oldest.
The second oldest. Okay. And the youngest ones are about, and how much younger are they compared to you? In comparison to you?
All the girls, all my mom girls, we all 4 years apart.
4 years apart. Okay. See, one of the things, and again, I'm speaking to all 4 of you specifically in a general sense. All of you have older siblings. She has 1, and all of you have younger siblings. Believe it or not, you might fight over the phone. You might fight over the remote control or whatever, Xbox, Zbox, or whatever else is out there today. Your siblings are looking up to you. They're going to try to mimic what you do. If you come in the house and you have books in your hand and you sit down at whatever table and you're doing your homework, your sibling is paying attention to you. It's a fancy term called how are you socialized, and what your siblings see you do, they're going to want to do that too, if not better. If you talk about going to college around them, guess what they're going to talk about?
Going to college.
Going to college. If you talk about stealing a Kia, guess what they're going to talk about? They're going to talk about stealing a Kia. And the one thing that I don't ever want to hear about any 4 of you is that you got in any form of trouble, okay? The one thing that's important, and before we're not ready to sign off by any means, the one thing that's important, you might not think that nobody's watching you. And I know Christine, she texts her friends, that's why her phone was ringing like crazy. Watch me on YouTube and Facebook, and be sure you send the link out to your friends and your families. That goes to all of you. And Jessica showed me her sister's text. I'm going to see you live. I'm going to see you live. So that's a good thing. Be sure everybody send it out. Now, I'm not saying that for my benefit. I'm saying that for your benefit. It's rare that you have or you see 4 young people sit down and have an intelligent conversation about their lives. You know what? And I'm going to be blunt with you. You know what amazed me that none of you said you wanted to do? I want to be a rapper. I want to be a rapper. You know, what's the guy's name? Sizzler?
That's a girl name, Sizzler.
Sizzler, whatever. No. Nobody said that. We heard, I know you want to get a track scholarship, which is fine. that's the way to go to college. Communications, mechanical engineering, nursing, attorney. You know, all of you should be proud of what you do, and I'm sure your families are proud of you because the goals that you have set for yourselves can be realized. And I'm not taking anything again. What's the guy's name? The girl's name? Scissor. Okay, scissors is what you cut material and paper with. But those, if you, and like I said, 4 or 5 years from today, well, most of you will be in college, she'll be graduating on her way to law school. Y'all are going to be somebody, and you're going to be something, and you're going to do important things. And all of you sort of mentioned you don't want to come back to Cleveland, and that's okay. That's okay. I returned for some personal reasons. When you see other cities and while you're in college, you know, you're going to make friends and they're going to say, you know, I live in wherever. They might take you to Miami for summer break or spring break or whatever. And go different places. You can always come back home if things get tough, rough, or difficult. But that's why they have those things called airplanes. You can always visit Cleveland. And I've had the opportunity to live in Nashville, Dallas, Jacksonville, Chicago for a hot minute, Indianapolis. It's different things that are out there. And all of you are young enough and you're on the cusp of I'm going to use a term that the generation I came from. You're living in a great society. You can pick up your phone, because I guess we still use computers, okay? But you can pick up your phone and you can go to Paris, France without ever getting on an airplane. Somebody mentioned they're going to have to take Spanish this year. Believe it or not, I do listen to what all of you said. It's hard to remember, but I do listen. Learn a different language. You have a young lady here. I don't know if they speak Chinese or Mandarin. Which language do you speak?
I speak Cantonese.
You speak Cantonese?
Korean or something.
Yes, say something in Cantonese. Say hello in Cantonese.
It's still ni hao.
Still ni hao? Okay, say, if you don't mind, say hello, Reggie. In Cantonese, if you can.
I'm gonna tell you I'm not fluent, but
okay. Well, you could have faked it. Nobody would really know. But no, if you're not fluent, I understand. Learn a different language. You know, maybe Jessica, well, she's inviting us to dinner. I'll drive. We'll go to her house. But see, when you sit and talk to people, especially her parents, and I'm assuming they're bilingual now. They speak English. Okay. Talk to them and say, hey, describe what it's like living in China or where you grew up, where you're from. And that's how you learn things. It's the people that you meet and that you'll encounter here. One of the other things that and I understand when you say you don't have any role models, that's fine. Trust me, by the time you turn 18, you will have somebody older, and I'm not saying they're going to be ancient like this young lady over here, the young man and her. You're going to have role models, and you're going to say, oh, this is what you do for a living. Okay? And again, I'm going to give you another gentleman's phone number. His name is Kumar. He owns his own shop. And I mean, Kumar he's not from this country originally. And he's done very well for himself and his family. And again, you have to select your own role models, okay? I don't know if any of you are familiar with a guy by the name of Charles Barkley?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay, so you're not basketball fans, but that's okay. Charles Barkley, he's from Alabama, and he grew up to become a basketball player, played in the NBA, and he was a superstar in high school, and he attended Auburn University, and he became very famous in the NBA. Okay, his nickname was the round bound, or rebound, or whatever it was. And when he was almost mid-career. He said, well, somebody asked him, are you a role model? And he didn't curse. He said, I'm not a freaking role model of anybody. Your role model should be hopefully your parents or some teacher that you had. And a story about Charles Barkley that often goes untold. He didn't graduate with his high school class. His high school, they graduated outside, but he was not permitted to graduate with his high school class because he fell short of a couple courses. And they graduated in the stadium or the field house in the high school. And he sat in the stands by himself as he watched the kids, his fellow students, classmates graduate. And he said he would never do anything again to leave himself behind. And the rest is history because he's on TNT, some NBA program or whatever, and very good. So you'll end up with some role models. Okay, again, they don't have to be as old as Marie because Marie's a little bit older than I am.
What?
This is my show. I can say what I want to say. So you'll find that person. It could be a man or a woman. It might be, I'm just using her name. It might be LaDosha Wright. And it goes for you too. The one thing that before we actually sign off here, I'm going to say this to all four of you. I'm very proud of you. I really am. And I'm just not saying that because you're on the show. I enjoy young people because you're our future. You're going to make decisions for me and more so Marie as she gets older. And you have to have the intellectual intelligence to do that. And I want to again encourage all four of you to read. I heard a couple of you say, I don't like to read. I doubt that, but you're going to have to learn to enjoy reading.
Yeah.
You're also going to have to learn how to stretch yourselves beyond of where you are. And all of you somewhat have agreed to do that just by listening your goals to the audience. So you have to keep something in mind. It's just not four people who heard what you said. It's other people who were listening. So, when you go home, and I hope your parents didn't hear that you said, I don't like to read, because there might be a stack of books when you get home to read. When we were growing up, every Wednesday or Thursday, we went to the library, and we had to bring books home to read. And, granted, we didn't have to write book reports for our parents by any means, but we had to read because there was no such thing as a computer, and there was no such thing as scissors. Is that the rapper's name? We grew up with, the Temptations and groups like that, but we had to read to know things. And it's one thing nobody can ever take from you. They can steal your car, your Kia, or they can even break in your house. But nobody can take anything from you that you learn. And I'm going to encourage all of you, may it be trade school, college, 2-year college, 4-year post-grad, law school, terminal degree, which is law school, and also a PhD. Continue to learn something every day. Every day. You're listening to the Body Talk Radio program, the No Static Radio Network. And on July 11th, my co-host says what?
The Body Talk Power panel concerns start at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Right. And we're going to have 4 topics again with 4 wonderful, intelligent, well-read guests. And as I promised each one of you, and I owe you another one of you is going to be a part of that power panel. I'll go home and break 4 pieces of spaghetti and write your name on it. Whoever gets the short piece is going to be on the panel. Or I might even put 2 of you on it, okay? And you'll get the topics when you walk in, because the topics are not given out early, because everybody has a different opinion. And we want your opinion, because you will probably be possibly maybe the oldest on the panel. No, they're much older, but I think all of you are bright enough to serve on the panel. Maybe before, when is your internship end here?
July something.
July
I thought it
something.
was in August.
It's in August.
Oh, it's in
Yeah.
August?
Yeah, August of 2025. That's when your internship ends. Now, what we'll do, we're going to have a power panel just of the interns, and we're going to talk about topics that relate to your generation, your age group. And we'll have to talk about Sizzler, whatever his name is, and whoever else. And we might even, I will guarantee you this, we're going to talk about the college process. Because that actually starts, as your compadre said, it starts in the 10th, 11th grade. Because I'm not saying to make up your mind that you want to go to the Ohio State University. That's all right, Jessica. I'll get you some Michigan information. It's tough being young today. It's tough. Because opportunities, because the world is still spinning at the same speed, but it goes by really quick. And you're going to have to be very decisive on what you want to do and how you want to go about it at a much earlier age than my generation ever experienced, because we had broader opportunities because of some of the industrial base in Cleveland. I'm not going to go all into that stuff. So again, I thank all of you for being guests on Body Talk. And before you depart here, I received more than a couple phone calls on some items. And it's two items. One is the firing of Miss Jackson. She was the former Director of Economic Development in the city of Cleveland. And I'm going to reserve that topic for the power panel on the 11th. But I will say this, just briefly. She's a black woman. And she was fired because she did her job. And Christine's like, what? Yeah, she did her job and got fired. She asked one simple question. Where or how does tax abatement benefit the citizens of the city of Cleveland? And the gentleman, I'm not going to mention his name because I'm going to say that for the power panel. This gentleman took pride in getting her fired for doing her job. It's like, wow, that's kind of crazy. How can you get fired when you do your job? She wasn't late. She never stole anything. She didn't misuse city equipment. She didn't run the city car into the ground or anything, but she got fired because she did her job. The other item, there's actually three. There's an effort out or going around called public budgeting to put it on the ballot to make it mandatory that city council set aside funds for citizen projects. And there's several, I'm going to say elected people, I don't like to use the term official, who are fighting this because one person said, well, citizens don't know what they want. I want you to think about them, the four of you. You don't have to answer. Can you imagine voting for somebody who tells you you don't know what you want? But you just voted for that person, so that person should resign because he or she just said that a citizen doesn't know what they want. And it goes back to our discussion about what you want to do with your life. See, it's one thing that I do believe in. Nobody should be able to tell you what you can read, what you can watch, and what you can eat. It's called free will because all of you are four brilliant, intelligent young ladies. And even as you get older, or more, I don't want to say mature, but older, you'll even get harder in your stances on what you want to read, what you want to say, and what you want to eat, and what you want to view. The one I will discuss real quick here, recently happened yesterday, but it started in November, December of 2021, so it's almost coming up on 2 years. City Council ordinance fancy terms were appropriated, funds to a minority health clinic called Neon. And the money basically was given to them after their facility in Hub caught fire. They have different facilities, but the main campus was in Hub. Caught fire, burned down, building uninhabitable, excuse me. $2 million was given to them by city council. City council clawed the money back, meaning, give me the money back. They never really gave it to them, but they took it off the table. And the reason that they gave was that the CEO, Mr. Alston, whose salary is $400,000, they said, well, he makes too much money. And they also added, well, there's a public health crisis in Cleveland. Now, we have a budding attorney here. I'm not going to ask you for a question, but I want all of you to listen. We'll do this backwards. For some reason, when they said there's a public health crisis, they didn't tell anybody what the crisis was. So what's the crisis? Just make it up. Christine, make a crisis up. That's a good answer. Just make it up.
AIDS.
AIDS. But they didn't say what it was. But they said it was a public health crisis. You know, if East St. Louis, if I remember, there's a saying in Missouri, show me. You just can't say something and expect, I'll speak for me, moi for French, I took French. I'm not going to believe until you can show me. So what's the public health crisis? You said it's AIDS. My budding attorney over here said it's influenza. Reggie said it was left-handedness. And Jessica said, what did you say it was? Just make it up. Whatever. So, I always ask that question. You have the right to ask questions, especially to your elected people. It's called, you can petition your government. That means, that doesn't mean you take a piece of paper. You can ask questions. And if that person doesn't answer your question, you know what that means, Christine?
Not true.
Bingo. If you can't answer the question, that means there's no answer. You're making it up. Let's address the first variable. He said he made too much money. Mr. Austin makes about $400,000 a year, which is approved by his board of directors. He's in charge of Neon. He actually created and founded Neon. And Neon is a 501c3, which means it's a not-for-profit entity. But when they gave him the money, the $2 million, he was making the same amount of money. So now 2 years later, now he makes too much money. In my generation, we would call that a lame excuse. I'm cleaning it up because there's 4 ladies here. That's a lame excuse. He was making the same amount of money when you appropriated the money for him. So my question, or my petition to those people in council and to the mayor of the city of Cleveland. So is that the new metric? What's the baseline metric for people to make too much money for the city of Cleveland to give them money or to give them tax breaks called tax abatement? So if a developer comes forward who makes $6.5 million or $1.5 million, I'm not picking on Dan Gilbert, he's a billionaire, but he gets tax breaks. But you just took money back from Mr. Austin because he made $400,000. So take the tax break from the man or woman who makes $401,000. Okay. Again, I want to be nice because there's 4 ladies here, and I don't believe in cursing because my parents would be upset with me, spent too much money on my education. The one thing, don't believe everything you hear, especially for people, for some, let me qualify it, some, that's S-O-M-E, not S-U-M, for some elected people. They took money from Neon that delivers healthcare services in a disadvantaged community, which is the Huff area. Because this man, their words, made too much money. And there's a public health crisis that they didn't define. But here's the kicker. And if you laugh, I'll give each one of you a piece of candy. They took $2 million, but they said, we're going to give you $200,000 anyway. Christine is like, she's processing that, and again, if you can see her, and I'm not picking on you, Christine. See, one of the things that, and I'm going to use bad English, if it ain't good, you shouldn't get anything. So you took $2 million, but you gave them $200,000. If it's all bad, it's all bad. If it's all good, it's all good. You know, there's a Greek saying, I think it was actually repeated on Star Trek, and most of you don't know what that is. What's good for the few is bad for the many. What's bad for the few, or good for the few, is bad for the many. How can you take money from a disadvantaged entity that's delivering health services to a disadvantaged population because the CEO, Mr. Austin, makes a certain amount of money, and there's a public health crisis that's unfreaking defined? And as most of you, I'm more so addressing the ladies here, as you mature, get older, and you become eligible to vote, vote in every election that you're eligible to vote in, because your vote is your voice. And how you vote determines your character and your integrity. And I'm not gonna mention any names. General comment. If you vote for a fool and he or she wins, what did you just do? You elected a fool. If you vote for a thief and he or she wins, what did you just do, Christine?
Elected thief.
You just elected a thief. Okay? When we were younger, there was a term, don't fall for the yokie doke. What they just did was a bunch of yokie doke. Don't fall for it. Roland called in and said he was impressed that none of you were concerned about the safety in your school. And I'm going to agree with Roland. That's a compliment to all four of you. We have an aberration here. She's no longer in school, but she's on her way to college now. John Carroll University, shameless plug again for the Jesuit School in University Heights. That's a compliment to all three of you. Jessica says she attends a Catholic school in her community, magnificent. And we'd say 800 students, give or take, something like that. Okay. All of you feel safe. That's a good thing. You mentioned you know, first floor, second floor, third floor. I think you said you're on the first floor?
Yes.
On the first floor. And that's a good thing. And it dawned on you when you said, well, I open the door because these kids go up to Chipotle's. They don't bring you anything back, but you open the door for them anyway. So I do listen to what everybody says. So, and you said, well, wait a minute. If I'm opening the door for somebody I know, I might be opening the door for somebody else could be opening the door for somebody you don't know. And my buddy over here, Reggie, said, well, you know, the kids, they're okay, but, you know, they goof off, they do things, they smoke in the bathrooms or whatever. You know, what I find striking, especially about public school students across this country, most students, the majority of the students want to learn. It's just the few that make it difficult for the other students, I'm going to call them kids, other students to learn. You know, become, and which most of you are, all of you are, I'm saying most, all of you are role models. There's going to be people who be, and I guess the term, they're going to be hating on you. You know, they're going to be hating on y'all. You know, you're going to have a stack of letters, full ride to this school, half ride, full ride, or whatever. You're going to get athletic offers. You're going to train Jessica over here, and she's going to start getting some offers, and Reggie is going to do her thing, and et cetera, et cetera. People are going to be hating on y'all. And you know what you say to them? What do y'all say? Deuces now? That's all right. Don't let it deter you from what you want to be and what you want to do. Don't. You're listening to the Body Talk radio program on the No Static Radio Network. And again, we're about to sign off here. I would like to thank my four wonderful guests and hosts. Would you introduce and tell everybody who you had on the show?
Today I had Christine, Jessica, and Regine, and Al.
I was going to wonder if you were going to ever introduce me. I was going to feel left out. It's kind of hurt. But no, and I would like to thank you because you did an admirable job, tough responsibility. And I'm going to tell everybody, it was at the last minute. Ms. Scott, she had to reschedule. And as I said again, I'm going to have at least two of you on the 11th on the power panel. And again, I would like to thank all four of you, and I hope all of you have a wonderful Independence celebration. Be safe, don't eat too much, and don't forget dinner at Jessica's this evening.
Thank you.
And to the listeners, see you on the 4th. More so, we'll do a rebroadcast of the show, but definitely see you on the 11th. Thank you.
We'd like to thank you for tuning in to Body Talk with your host, Ayl Bridges, here on the station where we don't bring no static, but we sure enough bring the noise on staticradio.net. Make sure you guys check us out on social media where we absolutely love to hear from you on Facebook.com/No Static Radio LLC, on Twitter at No Static _ Radio, on Instagram at The Real _ No Static Radio, and on YouTube at No Static Radio, as well as our newest platform, Discovered.tv. Also, if you guys would like to listen to replays of this show and others on NoStaticRadio.net, please make sure you check us out on Mixler or Mixcloud.com. Just type in No Static Radio on the toolbar for replays of this show and all others on the platform. And for continuous streaming, that means no interruptions. You don't have to refresh the page. Sit back, relax, and let it rebuffer and throw in the little commercials on its own. And boom, you got us on TuneIn.com, live on LiveRadio.net, and MediaQ for continuous streaming of this show and all others. Just type in No Static Radio, all one word, in the toolbar. And for all things No Static Radio, including up and coming events, merchandise, and a look at all our great show hosts here, please check out our website at www.nostaticradio.net. Thank you guys for tuning in on this Testimony Tuesday. And you know what it is. Later on this evening, we have the Reverend Doctor in with today's gospel music show. And in the meantime, in the between time, we've got more music for your listening pleasure here on your voice of the revolution, nostaticradio.net, powered by Google, partnered with Colors, and sponsored by Lamont Avenue Wines at Cleveland Rugby League, and designed me exclusively. You guys be safe. Enjoy this crazy weather out here, and we'll talk to you this evening. Peace.